Every one of you watching this screen, look out.
Anything can happen in the next half hour.
What did I tell you about cartoons?
They've got a lot of brains, and they've got a lot of chutzpah.
Tell me how comic books make you feel, Dave.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Hi, this is Franz Cantor, cartoonist, illustrator, and toon talker, and I'm here with
Jim Bridges, and I'm president of the Australian Cartoon Museum.
Woohoo! Okay, so what are we talking about today? This is a book which I've been dying to talk to you guys about, and Jim has seen the film recently. This is Designing the Secret of the Kells, which is a film by
Tomm Moore.
Tomm Moore, yeah. And what's his company in Ireland? The animation company is called... oh, gosh.
Well, the film's... the film's called The Secret of the Kells.
Yeah.
And the Kells is a famous illustrated Bible.
Yeah.
That is legendary.
Yeah.
And it's one of the great books of the world. And the story is about a boy who becomes a
monk.
A monk who does the drawings.
Yeah. So it inspired. It's through his eyes, through Brendan's eyes.
Yeah,
Brendan is the main hero.
And Brendan's a great Irish name because there's a saint called Brendan.
Yeah. Before we go on any further, I just want to mention this is by Cartoon Saloon, which is an Irish
that's it.
animation company, and Tomm Moore is I believe the head of it. And he does some
trust the Irish to put saloon with animation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's a lot of sort of this film is probably one of the most designed pieces of animation that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
The design is so strong, it doesn't need much animation.
Yeah. So there's a combination of 2D and forced perspective and no perspective and very flattened because of the material that they're dealing with, which is an illustrated book, basically. So the story takes place almost like the illuminated manuscript. So they've actually got a style. They picked a style for the characters and the illustrations and the backgrounds that were very complementary to the idea.
And there's illustration all the way through the book, on the walls, on the floor, like over here.
Yeah.
And
so everything is beautifully researched. They had a team of famous illustrators to put these ideas together.
This is the compound where they're building to protect themselves from the raiding Vikings, which you hardly ever see.
Well, you see at the end.
Yeah, but you don't really see them in detail at all. It's got a great beginning where
people remark about this goose. By the way, this is a famous goose. That scene, the opening scene with the goose is really, really...
They're chasing the goose, and it's a great introduction to most of the characters. And because of its religious, you see, Ireland kept Christianity going when the rest of Europe...
Because it was isolated a lot from the raids.
Yeah, but it was the monks. Yeah, but the monks actually kept on going around. The Irish monks.
Yeah,
they kept Christianity alive in Europe when it was falling into the Dark Ages. And this is part of that story about the book of Kells.
So also there's a backstory with Brendan and the story itself, and that concerns itself more with Irish legend.
Yeah.
Which Aisling, this little spirit creature.
Yeah.
Sort of like a little wolf child.
Little sprite.
Of the forest.
Yeah.
So she brings a different layer of story to the to the drama.
The myth is really laid on into the story. Very good. Yeah.
So, even though these are obviously two-dimensional cartoons, but they're and quite stylized, but they're able to get a fairly, expressionist, very full of expression, characters full of expression, a lot of personality.
Yeah.
With so few lines, you know?
So few lines.
So it's testament to the talent of the animators.
But that's because the design is so good. This is possibly the best designed animated feature I've ever seen. Very good. And there's all these complicated things like these verticals,
towers and
all these verticals, which are hard to sort of do in a cinema ratio. You know?
I mean, I haven't really seen a lot of cartoons that have that really throw themselves into the style of the illustration.
Yeah, you see, and this book actually goes really back to the basics. That's the basics.
It's all about drawing is about proportion, so keeping the characters on model. You have to keep proportions in mind. And
but that's a given in all animation. Otherwise, it won't work. Surely. Here is the old monk who teaches him his craft. And there's all these wonderful hands in it. It just you cannot keep your hands away. You cannot keep your eyes away from these hands all through the film.
Yeah, all the characters have different expressions, different personalities, and they're all highlighted and exaggerated by or highlighted by their hands and body language, posture, etc.
It's a very simple story. It's a very simple story.
The cat is extraordinary.
The cat is used a lot,
So, you know, one of the beautiful aspects of animation is these sort of shapes.
I thought of Gay Paris, you know, the film with Judy Garland. This character here, have a close-up of these guys. Very good, beautiful. You never get sick of looking at his face. He's the genial old bloke who teaches him everything.
Very animated monk.
Now this book technically gives you everything you ever wanted to know about putting together a film. So it's got all the basics, everything in between.
Extraordinary shapes, beautiful shapes.
And the
textures.
Go back to that picture. That page, the drama is done so beautifully and yet so effortlessly and so cheaply to a certain extent compared to other animated films.
It's very economical in terms of its production.
Yes, but the design is so superior. It's just a delight to look at. Delight to look at. Now, I don't remember that scene. Oh, well, I mean, that's been worked on. I do remember the scene. And you have all this detail, all this Celtic stuff.
Look at the amount of exploration into the designs, the Celtic knotwork, and you know the actual patterns and designs that they've used in the Book of Kells itself.
And also, you see, these trees are straight out of the 50s. They're
there's
they're UPA trees. Some of these are UPA practically, you know.
Well, there's that aesthetic of symbolic animation, like especially scenes that have a flat perspective, that they want to give some form of overriding pattern.
They're very reverent. They're very reverent to the actual overall Celtic design, but at the same time they have a lot of fun with it.
Exactly, They
have a lot of fun with it.
You get a real sense of presence in the Book of Kells itself, almost. You know, there's a lot of.
Although they don't actually show the Book of the Kells till the end, the very end.
But you're prepared for it.
This character here is his uncle because he doesn't have any family, and he's very stern, and he's like the religious person in it, and everybody else is part of a religious thing, but he is the religious person.
Have a look at his design. It's awesome. Brilliant work.
And it's just size, really. It's just, and great design. Great design. And the hands are just used, you know, like so much is told in the story with the hands. And so, like, that's it. That's his character. That's what he looks like. And there's this Negro bloke who just, they all fall with, they just walk with him as a mass. And here's a beautiful, just the simplicity of the design. It's just beautiful to look at.
Look at this guy here.
This has got a bit of a Mr. Magoo sort of Asian guy.
Some beautiful.
This is the Italian guy.
Beautiful shapes. So it's a testament to the animators.
That's right, but they've made
translate
design,
feeling into simple design.
But they've made the design very simple, but within the Celtic context, like that particular thing. They all walk together as a group.
Yeah.
And it just cuts down on money and work and all that sort of stuff, but it's just beautiful to look at within the context.
Yeah. It's great. Some good scene. You know, in particular, the way that they've structured this book goes into the way that they set up pans across the illustrations to create a dynamic scene to follow the action.
This book gives you everything.
All of the assets. It's like the animation Bible.
Yes.
So all of the assets, the relative sizes and personalities of the characters in relation to each other.
Yep.
All of the typical action scenes that they're doing. All of the props, all of the other assets and things. Down to onions and things that they're cutting up.
This is a great character.
Yeah.
He's in charge of the sheep. He just says bah all the time. He's only used in a couple of... They're all great characters, and there's hardly any... They're not used that much.
There's the goose. This is a goat. If you like goats like me, this is a beautiful goat. Look at that.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of personality within a simple construct of these shapes. They're very, very dynamic and useful.
Oh,
you know, I mean, but if you look at them, when I first saw the illustrations for this film, I didn't quite understand how it would work as a film in today's world.
Yeah,
outside of UPA.
Yes, yes.
But looking at it on the screen, we just. You know, it was just magic. It was just the most perfect way of telling this story.
He's never been into a forest. He's no,
but look at that, the forest itself. See, this is what I mean. You know, the world of the magic, the world of the old and the new, where Aisling lives, the forest itself, which borders the town that they've built, is in itself like a cathedral. Yeah, you know, it has its own majesty.
Mother Nature is the spiritual center of this whole film.
Yeah, so there isn't a this dual world of evil and good. It's not about evil and good.
This is before they actually changed.
It's about transformation.
They got their final characterization.
So all the characters transform, even the Stoic monk. You know, they all transform. They all realize. They grow within the book itself. So
this is a lovely scene.
Is revealed at the end.
Klimt would have liked this.
Klimt would have liked this. That's a very Klimt scene, actually. At forest, if you can remember. And
they do a lot of this. Shots looking down, they're very good. And the patterns, just the nature, it's just...
Yeah, I mean, look at these. They're awesome. This right out of Mary Blair, out of the 50s, Disney. 50s.
Mary Blair, the background artist.
Yeah.
So you do look at Disney films?
Yeah.
Just the backgrounds, right? You only look at the backgrounds.
Really exciting. I mean, when you look at this book, this book is incredible. This made me watch the film 5 times.
Well, I mean, I like Russo.
Look at the board. These are colour boards. These are mood boards. Yeah. Now, when you have a production value that allows you to do mood boards, you can see at a glance really the emotional impact.
The other thing I'd like to say about this film is the watercolour. The use of watercolour in this film is extraordinary.
Well, watercolour is
in the sky in particular. The way they use the sky,
it has that human handmade look. You know, the ability to create some beautiful.
And here's the stylized wools that are used.
Here's some of the storyboards that they haven't got the full set of storyboards, but they've got key scenes in storyboard fact. And you can see how the storyboards. For animation, there's a lot more storyboards than film because you have to sort of show the emotions and things as well. But it's very, very, very informative. If you're a student of animation, you must get this book.
I think the Prince of Egypt, to me, the backgrounds and the design of the film was a major character to the film.
Yeah.
But this film in particular, the design is so strong, and I think the Celtic designs is sort of bottomless. You can spend all day looking at it, and it's fresh, you know. And the way they've got these these motifs right throughout the whole thing of the
swirls,
Celtic swirls.
Yeah.
But look, it's just a delight to look at. The story's good too.
Yeah.
The story's good too.
Look at these. Why can't we have Twitter birds like that? It's much more interesting.
I like this one.
Look at that. That's
Flat
like
top.
a beautiful, like a kookaburra.
Yeah.
Oh, look at these curls here, these swirls.
Yeah.
Here.
That's when they climb to the top of the
the forest.
The forest.
Into the canopy.
He's after berries.
So it's about transformation, it's a journey, and all the characters have some form of emotional journey and transformation.
It's a physical
even
journey.
Aisling is scared of the darker aspects of the forest, so she explores that part of herself.
And when you start seeing shots like this, you just realise, Miyazaki.
Miyazaki? What, you mean the tiny, the
well, there's
attention
just
to
so
detail?
there's just so much of
Miyazaki is the world builder. He's in animation. He's regarded as the world builder because he builds worlds that have truth. And the truth is built up of details
and nature.
Yeah,
and also his stories are very, very complicated. And
they are, but they have a very human.
And as you said, all the characters go on a journey.
Yeah.
Besides the physical journey that Brendan goes on.
Yeah. So these are illustrations that are meant to inform the production, right? In terms of tone, whether they're used in production or not, doesn't matter. Nothing is ever wasted.
No.
So in all good animation productions, all of the illustrations are incredibly useful.
I wish I was around when they were making this, and I'd be going through the rubbish bin. Even the stuff they threw out would have been great.
Yeah.
And look at this. It's just.
So these are
look
using
at this. It's just
Art Nouveau or Gustav Klimt swirls and things.
Yeah. In a Celtic context.
Knots.
In a Celtic context.
The Celtic knot.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And of course, Aisling's animation is she's got this long hair, so her animation is very, very unique.
Yeah.
And separate from everybody else.
Well, she's a sprite.
She has that sort of. I think she's either a sprite or a wildling or something transformative character. And the use of swirls again, shapes.
Yeah.
You know, in this film, these swirly. This is the cat on a journey.
Yeah.
You know, the animals. All of the animals have some form of. And entree into other worlds.
And the film's got a hand painted feeling. It's got
which brings you back to the Kells, the book.
Yeah, which brings you back to the
source,
the design.
Yeah,
and the watercolor in it. There's lots of shots of the sky which aren't moving, and they're just watercolor, and they're just a delight to look at.
Yeah. So they paint the sky and they paint these worlds that have this incredible texture and
it's a pity
handmade.
It's a pity that this film didn't get a big.
This is the bad character, the demon from the dreams.
Yeah, from the dream sequence.
Yeah. So a simple, very, very iconic.
And he uses a line. He uses chalk to fight it.
Yes.
And he limits it by putting a circle around it.
Yes.
And it's just when that happens, it's just delightful. And the imagination, this is it. It's the imagination of animation and what they do in this story. This is the sequence where he's about to be destroyed and he just runs a circle around it with a piece of chalk.
So they've researched into symbols and what they could possibly mean. Everything has a relevance and a story aspect.
And that's not talking about the soundtrack, because the soundtrack is just... Well, actually, it's very modern. The soundtrack's very modern. It's obviously written for it. These are the sequences where he goes into this sort of like this maze to get this off the monster, and the monster keeps after him. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Very powerful stuff. Look how complex this snake gets. This worm.
Yeah. That's the body of the snake. And of course he has to go into that vortex of to get this the eye of which is a crystal. And he finally gets the crystal.
Yeah. there's the crystal. So the crystal opens up another world, another way of seeing.
And there's this Miyazaki motifs again.
Where?
And it's not, well, you see he's got flowers here.
Yeah.
Whereas, and whenever you see these bright flowers, it always it's good. It's clean. It's not a scary space, because this space originally is a scary space.
It implies, but it gives it a feeling of innocence.
Yeah,
and even there.
So nature has its
balance.
Danger, but it just transforms continually.
Look at the Klimt shapes again from the Kiss. You know, it's beautiful stuff. I've never seen that actually in an animated production before.
No, and
this is an example of the watercolor, the background, how sensitive and humanistic it is. It's
so when it snows
close up
crystals. It snows crystals,
but not just crystals. They're
Celtic crystals,
Celtic patterns.
Yeah.
So everything has its own.
Now the Viking attacks, I think, is a little bit influenced by
Night on Bald Mountain.
Yeah, but also Ivan the Terrible. Ivan Horrible. The Eisenstein characters out of what is it?
The Russian king or something?
No, the what's Ivan? What is it? I can't remember the film. Eisenstein's second last film before Ivan the Terrible. He had the Nazis as these sort of characters with these big headpieces.
Yeah.
The German helmets and all that. And this is what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Basically, you don't see
it's broken down into very simple shapes.
Dark.
But what they can do with the simple shapes is extraordinary.
And they move in, and there's hardly any. There's hardly any animation. There's slashes of colour.
Yeah.
There's slashes of soundtrack.
Yeah.
But they're foreboding characters.
Look, if you love smoke and fire and water.
Yeah. Even the fire and the water as in these.
That is a beautiful fire sequence.
Yeah.
Awesome. The clouds of foam, they all have a resonance, they all have they have a pattern, they have a shape.
This is when they turn up, and that's all you see. You just see these ship parts turning up. That's all you see. It's threaded.
Very Stedmanish, almost.
Very
of Ralph Steadman.
Yeah.
These shapes.
The door breaks down.
Yeah.
And there's the
forest behind it.
Here's do a close up on that. That's as bloody as it gets. Bloody as it gets.
So it's breaking things down into abstracts, and you could see the palettes now transformed into fire, black and white. Fire is red, and you know the motif of it and the starkness of it has been
beautiful.
Powerfully done. Yeah. The mystery of the wolves. The wolves in here are incredibly mysterious.
Yeah.
So again, symbols of the forest. So you're bumping up against the old world, the mysterious world of the ancients, and the new world, relatively new, of Christendom.
And they survive the onslaught just.
Yeah.
And then Brendan comes back after many years of journeying around.
Yeah.
He starts off as a kid and he comes back with a nice red beard.
Yeah. So he's a ranger.
Yeah, he's a ranger. Yeah. This is a lovely scene. They walk along the beach, and then when he leaves him, there's only one set of footprints, and the cat's footprints, and that's it. And it's beautifully done. And
the water is incredibly textured, and the patterns on the foam is like the swirls. So, wow, what a powerful book.
Then he gives to his uncle. He shows him the book, and then it becomes 2D and 3D.
Yeah, so the uncle then transforms himself as
so here is what the book's basically. I think that's one of its most famous pictures, and all these swirls and stuff. It's a terrible repo, but there's a better one. They animate these. They move individually. The whole thing doesn't spin, but just some of them. And it just
so that's the original Kells. The Book of Kells is a story based. It's an illuminated manuscript, so it's an illustrated journey on the Bible, but it's very symbolic and very interpretive
and that's supposed
and personal for each reader. Each reader gets a different story.
That's supposed to be Brendan up there.
Yeah.
They incorporate him into it.
Yeah. So not only is it about, a story of the Bible, but it's also a personal journey of the artist exploring all of these animals and shapes, and the reader reinterpreting his own.
If you remember Watership
story.
Down, when the rabbits talk about the mythical story in the beginning of it, well, this is just on and on and on with it, And these are the characters. These are the people who talked about who are in the film, and there's just. Yeah, it's just an extraordinary, magical film.
Yeah.
And
it's terrific.
I suggest you get hold of it. Who's the publisher?
It's published... Oh, that's a good point.
It's a film and it's a book you'll keep forever. You just will. You'll get ideas from it. You'll get ideas from it.
Tomm Moore, Ross Stewart, forward by Charles Solomon. Here you go. Cartoon Saloon.
It looks like they put out their own book. Yeah, they put out their own book. Cartoon
Spectrum,
Saloon.
Produced by Spectrum, designed by Eloise Shearer.
Yeah.
So Spectrum books. But just check for it on Amazon.
Yeah.
And or all good book retailers, Booktopia, whatever. And you should be able to find it.
It's one of the best animated films ever made. It really needs you to catch up with it. It sort of snuck through the system, through the holidays. And they went for the big films.
So if you're interested in the magic of animation, the magic of cartoon, then you should.
And this book is
check it out.
one of the best animated books about the making of the film. Yeah. And I'm glad they wrote that, because that's the
key element, isn't it?
That's right.
Designing, because it's more than just making.
That's right.
Yeah, it's creating.
It's doing the most with the less. It's terrific what they do.
Okay, this is France Cantor and
Jim Bridges.
And please subscribe, and we'll catch you next time round.
Yeah, Patreon's the name. Patreon's the game. Bye-bye.
One day before the Vikings attack Kells.
You must go where I cannot. Pangerbon, Pangerbon, Nilsa Sail Shack, you. Disney Batman Bureau, Och shall be
Thanks for the sour persimmons, cousin.